Now we would like to have an opening remarks from Mr. Shukuri, JTTRI, and Ms. Natalia from the MOTS. First, starting from Mr. Shukuri, Chairman of Japan Transport and Tourism Research Institute, please.
Sawadee Club. Hello, everyone. I'm Shukuri, Chairman of Japan Tourism and Transport Research Institute. Thank you so much for joining us from Japan and abroad at the 6th Japan-Thailand Tourism Working Group meeting. I would like to offer a few opening remarks. First, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our distinguished guest for taking time, His Excellency Mr. Wichu, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Kingdom of Thailand to Japan, and Mr. Murata, Commissioner of JTA, and also Ms. Natalia, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Tourism and Sports of Kingdom of Thailand, for taking time out of your very busy schedule. And also as speakers, we have a Director of Community-Based Tourism Office, the designated area for Sustainable Tourism Administration, Ms. Wasana, and also Thai Convention Exhibition Bureau, TCEB, Director of Meetings and Incentive Department, Ms. Spanich, and Tanabe City Kumano Tourism Bureau, Director Ms. Tada, and also for the delegates coming from Thailand to visit Japan for field survey. Now, ever since our first working group meeting met in December 2023, we met 5 times already, and to date, working group has conducted field surveys and discussions on themes common to both Japan and Thailand, such as regional tourism disposal through soft power utilization and sustainable tourism destination management. Within this framework, there has been active exchange of views and approach to sustainable tourism destination management, including the importance of refining regional resources and community-based tourism development, as well as how to effectively return tourism-generated benefits to local communities. Through these discussions, numerous common points have been emerged for both Japan and Thailand, including the visualization of challenges faced by tourist destinations, collaboration with communities, and vital role of DMO in facilitating cooperation. The 6th Working Group meeting adopts the mission and role of DMO as common theme, as the importance of positioning tourism not merely as visitor attraction or economic activities, but also as a mechanism to protect, nurture, and pass on generation the regional value grows. In both Japan and Thailand, deepening the discussion on DMO is a timely and highly significant theme. On the other hand, as Commissioner Murata of the JTA will likely touch upon in his keynote address later, current reality in Japan is that DMOs still face numerous challenges regarding their roles and functions, including issues related to financing, human resources, and organizational structure. So this working group, therefore, is not a forum from one side to demonstrate achievements, but rather a space where both Japan and Thailand can frankly share their respective experiences and challenges, learn from each other, and seek a way for better solutions. Furthermore, delegation led by Permanent Secretary Natalia engaged in field research over the past days, yesterday and the day before yesterday, with the tremendous cooperation of Tanabe City Kumano Tourism Bureau officials from Tanabe City, Shingu City, Kushimoto Town, and Shirahama Town in Wakayama Prefecture, as well as Nanki Shirahama Airport, focused on the Kumano area of Wakayama Prefecture. In today's discussion, we hope to deepen our practical dialogue, building on not only presentations by experts, but also incorporating insights and knowledge gained through this field survey. Lastly, I sincerely hope today's discussion will be applied to practical tourism policy and community development efforts in both Japan and Thailand, leading to further advancement in sustainable tourism destination management, and hope, more importantly, Thai-Japan friendship will be further deepened as we celebrate 140th anniversary of diplomatic relationship. With this, I would like to conclude my opening remark. Kopun Krab. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Shukuri. Now, let me invite Permanent Secretary Natalia to the podium.
สวัสดีค่ะทุกท่านนะคะ
Hello, everyone. Chairman JTTRI, Mr. Shukuri. His Excellency Mr. Wichu, Ambassador, Embassy of Thailand in Japan, and Mr. Shigeki Murata, the Commissioner of JTA. Co-chair Mr. Okuda of our working group on tourism between Thai and Japan, and also members of the working group. On behalf of DOT and also ARIO members, thank you very much. I would like to offer my greetings. I am Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Tourism and Sport, and also co-chair of a working group between Ministry of Tourism and Sports and Japan Transport and Tourism. My name is Natalia Tawiwon. I'm very happy to be able to attend the 6th working group. Using this opportunity, actually for the past 2 days, we did a DMO management field survey in Kumano in Wakayama. So I would like to express my gratitude for that arrangement to JTTRI. Thai delegation were so much expressed, and we were able to gain a lot from this past 2 days. This would be quite important for the development of Thai tourism. Especially Tanabe Kumano Tourism Bureau's activities is quite important for successful sustainable tourism management, and preservation of nature around the Kumano Kodo actually were led to the designation of World Heritage. I think this is really something that we all need to applaud. So today's meeting would be held based upon the proposal made from the previous meeting, and Japan proposed the mission and role of the DMO. So we took that as a theme for this meeting. The DMO's roles would be discussed in a very systematic and sustainable way. So we would like to share knowledge and also experiences of such activities with the DMO. So this is a very important fora to exchange such information. Thailand and Japan. In the field of tourism, we have common challenges and common landscape or backdrops. So exchange of opinion would be important for concrete cooperation relationship. And also the discussion would help developing the sustainable and suitable development of DMO in respective countries. As well as we are concerned, we visited Tanabe and Kumano, and we were able to learn about the responsibilities as well as the roles to be played by DMO. I think we were able to have a more in-depth understanding that should lead to true meaning of sustainability. I hope this meeting will be a space for true learnings as well as a constructive proposal creation and to build a further relationship between Thailand and Japan in a very friendly way. Now, with this, we would like to start the 6th working group meeting on roles and missions of DMO. I would like to declare the meeting be started. We hope we can meet all the targets that we set for this meeting during the course of discussion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Natalia, Permanent Secretary of MOT. Now, I would like to introduce the participants today. I would be calling the participants' name in sequence. Tada-sama, Sasaki-san, Nakasugi-san. Please keep your camera on. First of all, let us introduce the participants from the Japanese side. From JTA, Japan Tourism Agency, we have Mr. Murata. Next, from JTTRI, Japan Transport and Tourism Research Institute, we have Mr. Shukuri, the chairperson. And next, this is Mr. Okuda, of the JTTRI, Managing Director, President for International Affairs, President for ASEAN-India Regional Office, and then President Wada of JTTRI. And Mr. Saito, Director, Inbound Tourism Promotion Division, Japan Tourism Agency, JTA, MLIT. Mr. Takenaga, Executive Director, Global Strategy Headquarters, Japan National Tourism Organization, JNTO. And Mr. Kambe, Senior Research Fellow of the JTTRI. Mr. Tomita, Executive Director, JTTRI-AIRO. And today, Ms. Tada, Representative Director of Tanabe Kumano Tourism Bureau. Ms. Tada is online today. And following her, Mr. Sasaki, First Secretary, Embassy, Japan in Thailand, is also participating online. And Mr. Nakasugi, Director, Japan National Tourism Organization, JNTO Bangkok office, also online. So, those of you who are attending online, please have your camera off currently or now. And now let us introduce the participant from Thailand, Ambassador, Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Kingdom of Thailand to Japan, Ambassador Wichu Wechachiwa. And Ms. Natalia Tawiwon, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Tourism and Sports. And Miss Wichani Videbom, Expert on Tourist Attraction Development, Acting Director of Tourism Professional Development Division, DOT. And Mr. Krida Srisom Wong, Deputy Executive Director of East Asia Region, TAT. And Ms. Wasana Hongspang, Director of Community-Based Tourism Office, DASTA. And Ms. Wanichi Tiansong from the Director of Meetings and Incentive Department, TCEB. We have Assistant Professor Supawadi Fotiarak, Senior Specialist from TSRI. and Ms. Naranya Bang-or, Chief of the International Affairs Subdivision Secretary of the MOTS. So these are our guests, and now we would like to have a word of greetings from our distinguished guests. And we have the Ambassador Plenipotential from the Kingdom of Thailand to Japan, as well as JTA Commissioner. We would like to first ask the Ambassador of the Kingdom of Thailand to Japan to make his comment and greetings, please. JTTRI.
Commissioner Japan Tourism.
So, Mr. Shukuri Masafumi, Chairman of Japan Transport and Tourism Research Institute, JTTRI, and Ms. Natalia Tawivong, Permanent Secretary for Tourism and Sports of Thailand, distinguished representatives from the public and private sectors, esteemed experts, and all participants. Hello. I am honored to be invited to deliver a remark at the 6th meeting of the Thai-Japan Tourism Working Group between the Ministry of Tourism and Sports of Thailand and the Japan Transport and Tourism Research Institute ASEAN-India Regional Office. As Ms. Natalia mentioned, I believe that today's agenda focusing on approaches to developing the Destination Management Organization or the DMO, drawing on Japan's successful experience in systematically integrating the public and public sectors with local communities, will be highly useful in strengthening Thailand's tourism management towards greater sustainability. The governments of Thailand and Japan attach high priority to the promotion of the tourism industry, not only because it is a major source of the country's income, but also because tourism can serve as a meaningful means to promote goodwill and mutual appreciation between our peoples, forming a solid foundation for cordial relations at the national level. So in this regard, I am pleased to note that two-way tourism between Thailand and Japan continues to grow steadily. Thailand has welcomed more than 1 million Japanese tourists for 2 consecutive years since 2024, with approximately 1.1 million visitors this year, representing a 3.8% increase from the previous year. Likewise, the number of Thai visitors to Japan has continued to rise, reaching 1.23 million, an increase of 7.3% year-on-year. These positive figures not only reflect the growing cordial sentiments between our peoples, but also create multiplying benefit effects to related services and businesses, increasing income and employment various areas of both countries, and that the visa exemption measures that both countries have bilaterally given to each other have played a significant part in this matter, and wish that two nations will continue to maintain the bilateral visa exemption measures in order to propel this positive momentum in the way future. And especially next year, when the two countries will be celebrating the 40th anniversary of the establishment of the diplomatic relations between Thai and Japan. During my tenure as ambassador to Japan, I have witnessed the refreshing expansion of Thailand's hospitality and service businesses in Japan, including the growth of Thai hotel brands across various regions, which help create employment and income to those in Japan while reinvigorating the local economies. So I have traveled to meet the governors and mayors of many prefectures and cities and have been impressed by their strong determination to deep tourism and people-to-people exchanges with Thailand. So going along to various areas, we are So I have been very impressed by the strong determination to deepen tourism and people-to-people exchange. And one interesting strategy is to highlight the cultural ways of lives that Japan and Thailand have in common. Together with their cultural connections with Thailand, this strategy results in increasing awareness of our cultural commonalities and affinity that bind Thailand and Japan, as well as the Thais and the Japanese together. And this is going to be crucial for our strategies going forward. And as for today's meeting, I strongly hope that the participants from the two sides will benefit from the information and the ideas under exchange. I also hope that all participants will take away the valuable insights from both Japan's case studies, such as the tourism management of Tanabe City and the tourism management experiences of Thailand's agencies, including the designated areas for sustainable tourism administration and Thailand Convention and Exhibition Bureau, and put them into good use for greater sustainability and benefits to the economies and well-beings of the local communities involved in tourism. So by having exchanges and exchange of opinions, I am looking forward to gain a valuable experience. And for the Sustainable Tourism Administration and Thailand Convention and Exhibition Bureau, I would like to also utilize their information as well. On behalf of the Royal Thai Embassy in Tokyo, I thank the JTTRI, Ministry of Tourism and Sports of Thailand, and all partner organizations and the experts from both countries who have joined this meeting for the aforementioned noble purposes. I sincerely hope that today's meeting and discussions will bring about concrete cooperation that further enhances mutual benefits from tourism to Thailand, Japan, and the wider Asian region going forward. I wish all of you success in your deliberations. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador, for your speech.
続きまして、
Now let me call upon Mr. Murata, Commissioner JTA Emilit, who will be speaking a keynote speech entitled Japan's Tourism Policy and the Role Expected of DMOs. Commissioner Murata, floor is yours. Sawadee-ka. Hello, everyone. Thank you for the introduction. My name is Shigeki Murata, Commissioner of Japan Tourism Agency. Very nice to see you. First, I would like to express my gratitude for Ambassador Richu and Permanent Secretary Natalia, and also Chairman of JTTRI, Mr. Shukuri. Thank you very much for inviting me to speak at 6th Working Group meeting. This is the meeting where meaningful discussion has been taking place on the common theme and challenges of Japan and Thailand. Next year, we will be celebrating 140th anniversary of diplomatic relationship between the two countries. I hope this working group will help developing the relationship as well as the diplomatic friendship. I would like to talk about Japan's tourism policy and the role expected of DMO. Now, this is my agenda. First, I would like to talk about briefly the current state of international tourism in Japan. Shown here is the number of foreign visitors to Japan until last year, expressed in bar graph. Last year in 2025, for the first time, we exceeded 40 million. 42.68 million people came from overseas, and this is a record high. By country and region, visitors from East Asia countries account for approximately 65% of the total. Followed by Europe and also US and Australia. The tourism from these countries are on the rise. For the past 10 years, we see a tremendous growth. But during the COVID-19 pandemic, we had some difficulties although. The next page, this graph shows a trend in number of Thai visitors to Japan. As was mentioned by the ambassador, the number was expressed and approximately 1.23 million people from Thailand came to Japan. This is the highest figure among ASEAN countries tourists to Japan. And this chart shows, actually we put emphasis on headcounts, but also the importance is about the consumption made by tourists from overseas. Because for Japanese economy, the tourist consumption here in Japan is very good for economic situation of Japan, and this is a very positive impact on Japan. So last year, fiscal 2025, 9.5 trillion yen was spent by foreigner in Japan. Before COVID 2019, 4.9 trillion was the amount. So we reached a very high level. And of that, Thailand ranks 7th as a country in terms of consumption by visitors. This is the highest among ASEAN countries, over 251.2 billion yen, representing an increase of 11% on year-on-year basis. Thank you very much for spending such amount here in Japan. And this is the total foreign guest nights. 2023 and 2024, you have numbers, and if you compare these three, for 24, 160 million, which is increased by 40%. But they are concentrating on three major metropolitan areas, including Tokyo, Osaka, and Kyoto. So dispersal of these visitors to other regions is a challenge. But if you look at the Thai visitors, of course they stay in Tokyo and Osaka, but they go to Hokkaido, Fukuoka, Yamanashi. They travel to local regions as well. We are really appreciative about this trend of Thai visitors. And here you see the outbound travelers to foreign countries, meaning from Japan to overseas. Last year, 14 million or more Japanese people traveled overseas. During the COVID, there was almost zero, but we are seeing recovery. But 20 million Japanese used to go abroad, so we hope the number will come back to that level. And this is the number of Japanese visitors to Thailand, as was introduced earlier. Last year, 1.09 million people visited to Thailand last year. And we are seeing steady growth ever since COVID-19 pandemic. So we are providing outbound incentives as well by the Japanese government. Now, this is the page for Japan tourism policy. I would like to mention this briefly. This is a rather complicated chart, but our tourism policy is, of course, to create sustainable tourist destinations, but as far as policy concerns, we are aiming for good to live in and good to visit, which we think is quite important. So this circle or circulation, meaning the traveler come to a tourist destination and they were impressed and to have more interaction with local people. With that, local people can discover or rediscover beauty of their area to be more specific of protecting natural resources and and environment, and that makes destination more attractive and more travelers come, and then a quality or the quality of life of our local people may increase. So this is the circle that we would like to create. And this is the basic policy or initiatives relating to our tourism policy. Sustainable tourism destination development is one thing. And second is the inbound visitor attraction with the focus on regional areas. And the third is expansion of interaction in Japan. And we want to promote more Japanese traveling within Japan as well, not just relying on inbound. So we have 3 pillars for our policy. So in this, what is going to be important is who is going to be the torchbearers of a regional tourism destination. The independent development of tourism destination is quite important, and also DMO should be should play an important role. So from here onward, I would like to talk about the role of DMO. Now, this is rather busy chart, but the DMOs, we call the entity to create the tourist destination or destination management or marketing organization, that is. The DMOs are to draw on earning power of localities, local governments and municipalities and businesses in private sector, as well as residents. We have various stakeholders, and the DMO will cooperate with them to make a strategy for tourism for the region or for the destination. And the DMO is expected of carrying out all these responsibilities as a entity. To do that, DMO should be the main pillar for tourism management to make sure the tourism development can happen. So as far as JDA is concerned, in 2015, we created the registration system so that our standards can be met by DMOs as a registered DMO. So we are supporting DMOs who are about to register. And this is the system of registration of DMO. We have guidelines. We set the guidelines. The role of DMO as well as their policies as DMO to develop tourism development is need to be created. But we have the DMO registered as in collaboration with local governments, and the legal entity has at least 12 months of activity, and the registration is valid for 3 years, and they can apply for renewal after being reviewed. So we would make sure DMOs registered will be the one that are actually active. There are different types of DMO. There are 3 of them, actually. Depending on the size of area, we categorize them. Wide area collaboration DMO is the first one. And for example, Hokkaido area for entire Hokkaido or entire Tohoku. So a wide area is covered by this DMO, then we call a wide area collaboration DMO. So that is one of the categories. And prefectural DMO is another one, which covers only one prefecture. And regional DMO would be covering municipalities, single municipality, that is. There are 3 categories. Currently, 360 legal entities are registered. And DMO, they have challenges. There are two. First is to secure funding, and another is to secure human resource. In order for DMO to be sustainable, they need to have their own source of funding as well as other sources in combination. But many of the DMOs are dependent upon the subsidies and support from administration, so they are not stable in terms of finance. And also in terms of human resource, we are having them play a great role, an important role. So they need to have high expertise in the field. However, DMOs are receiving staff members from other organizations on loan or secondment basis. So as well as a DMO, as an organization is concerned, they are not able to accumulate know-how and knowledge. And also, in order to attract a high caliber talents, they are not able to pay high enough, and therefore they are not high caliber staff members. And in terms of funding, about 60% of the funds are coming from government or local governments, as you can see from this chart. And this is a fact that they are facing. And also in terms of human resources, they are small in size. Most of them are small in size. So full-time employees of DMO on average is 16, but more than half of the DMO said that they have less than 10 permanent employees or full-time employees in place. And non-full-time and also seconded employees are the majority of the DMO. Therefore, as I said, the enhancement of the capability of DMO itself is becoming a challenge. So we actually last year in March revised our guideline to strengthen the regulations. As you can see, we put the identification of the items that should go into the DMO strategy. And also we need to follow scientifically. So KPI and KGI, those were made mandatory in their plans. And also more than 3 full-time employees need to be hired by DMO, and the training has to be provided to those staff members of DMO. So those are the new enhanced requirements. And also we have some indices to identify stable fund sourcing and also funding plans so that the organizational management can be enhanced by following guidelines which were revised last year. And also, sorry, this is rather busy chart, but this is about wide area collaborative tourism strategies to attract more people. As I said, wide area collaboration DMO, there should be a control tower to disperse tourists to diverse area. And we support them to do that. Depending on the localities, we have a framework to carry out different types of incentives by making wide area collaborative DMO as a centerpiece of such implementation. Now, these are the examples which are good examples. From the Tanabe, Kumano Tourism Bureau would make presentation. I think you visited Tourism Bureau yesterday. But Tada-san will do presentation, but maybe I can introduce other DMOs as a point of reference. First one is the so-called wide area DMO. This is Tohoku Tourism Promotion Organization, which is the Tohoku region wide area DMO. The marketing data is used and managed by this Tohoku Tourism Platform Organization, and they have a platform so that intra-region DMOs and municipalities are collaborating based upon data, and they create a tourism strategy and to do marketing and promotion based upon all those data. And they have a platform to be able to do that. So this is one of the activities that DMO is doing. And the second one is one in Shikoku in Ehime Prefecture. Ozu is the location, and this is a DMO in Ozu. They are working with the government so that the wide area activities are covered. And they have businesses and also government and financial institutions working together to promote the region. They used to have vacant houses in traditional streets, but DMO was instrumental in revitalizing those houses so that the townscape was rebuilt. And from Europe and the US, we see they are the targets, and also Shirohaku, or staying at the castle, and also turning the old houses into hotels. Those initiatives based upon cultural and historical resources are being done. And that's how they are rebuilding and redeveloping their city as a wide area DMO. Another example is Kuchan in Hokkaido. This is another DMO. Niseko is world famous tourist destination, or snow resort as you call it. They attract a lot of tourists every year. So in order to keep high quality, they need to invest in platforms. To secure such funding, they decided on accommodation tax. In other words, taxing those staying in town. They introduced new local tax, and part of that would be used for DMO activities. And that's done together with DMO and city. And based upon such funding, for example, during the summer, when skiing is not possible, they create contents to attract tourists during the summer, or maybe shuttle buses being introduced, and also resident services are being provided by this accommodation tax funding. DMO activities, I said 360 of them exist in Japan, but different regions, DMO have different activities because they have different characters and also different objectives and targets. But tourism is not just about attracting people, but also managing destination to introduce strategic industry to make income for the region. And DMO should be the centerpiece of such endeavor. So as far as JTA is concerned, we want to place DMO as a core, and we want to have them strengthened in their functionality. And that is our strategy why we are supporting DMO going forward. With this, actually, after me, there will be various discussions and also introduction of examples of DMOs. So I hope you have a very good exchange of opinions and observations so that tourism in both Thailand and Japan will develop further. With this, I would like to conclude my speech. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. From here, we would like to start the presentation from the experts. Today's topic is the mission and the role of DMO. We are to be hearing and listening from 4 experts, both from Japan and Thailand, and we ask the presenters to end their presentations within 15 minutes. And the Q&A session will be held at the very last. Therefore, if the online audiences would like to pose a question, please have it on the Q&A function by the Zoom. From here on, we would like to ask Ms. Tada, Toshiko Tada, Representative Director of Tanabe Kumano Tourism Bureau, and she used to be speaking under the title Aiming for Sustainable Tourism Open to the World. Ms. Tada, please. I'm Noriko Tada, representative of the Tanabe City Kumano Tourism Bureau. So thank you for choosing Kumano as a site of your Japan-Thailand Tourism Working Group visit and coming over to visit us. So how did you like Kumano? It was one of the Japan's original landscape. And during your visit, our Secretary General Takeda explained the details of our initiatives. Therefore, today, I'd like to talk about some important points from a different perspective. Maybe some of the contents may overlap. However, I hope you will listen while remembering the scenery of Kumano. First, about this title scene. We've been using this screen since the Bureau was founded. The local people featured on it are now nearly 20 years older. The reason we are so attached to this one screen is due to our mission. Our mission is not to attract tourists, but to ensure that the diverse people of the Kumano region can continue to live here with smiles like these. In other words, we view tourism not as an end itself, but as a means to sustainable urban development. The catalyst for our efforts to promote tourism was in 2004, when Kumano-Kodo Trail was inscripted in the World Heritage List, and also on the 2005, which was a large-scale merger of local governments. So with these two major events for us, we started developing the city into a touristic destination to attract inbound tourists. So the important thing is that we didn't start our activity from top-down activity. We started bottom-up. So 5 tourism associations within our city started exploring the establishment of a new tourism organization. Mayor made a bold decision, and we were supported by the municipality. And by the public-private collaboration, we have been starting the tourism-oriented city development. So Tanabe City Kumano Tourism Bureau established within this bottom-up manner, which was later certified as a DMO by the Japan Tourism Agency, and now it is mentioned as a success story. Currently in Japan, as Commissioner mentioned, there are 360 registered DMOs in Japan. But I believe that the DMOs created from the bottom up is very much of a handful. So I recognize most are led by local government leaders or governments. And we have accumulated a variety of initiatives. But what we've always valued is development of host destinations. So rather than promotion, we focused our efforts on raising the level of host destinations. And I think you heard it in details when you were on our site visit. And there's one more thing that we've always been valuing. Since our founding, this has always stayed with us, which is the position of the 5 basic tourism strategy. So we say it's not boom, but strategies, roots over booms, and prioritizing conservation and preservation over development, and prioritizing individual travelers over mass tourism, and shift in emphasis from high impact to low impact, and focusing on a higher quality destination open to the world. So meaning that those people, the local people, are the main people. So this is to create a touristic site where the residents is the main person. So the phrase creating a tourism region that's both great place to live and great place to visit is often used. However, the sequence should not be mistaken. So the great place to live must always come first. Since 2020, we started experiencing COVID-19 pandemic and our organization faced a crisis. We were threatened our survival. And sales has decreased by 85% as the chart shows. And mainly around the inbound, that was our strength. However, that has been causing a crisis to us. And somehow we overcome this crisis, and our sales are beyond what we have been having, which recovered to over 1.1 billion yen. And please focus on this pie chart. The 97.5% of sales go directly back to the local community. And this includes payments to suppliers and bureau staff salaries. The 2.5% is the blue part that goes outside the local area. That is including expenses such as travel insurance and system management fees and card transaction fees, only 2.5%. So we are very surprised too that all 97.5% of the revenue goes directly back to the local community. So this is ideal example of a destination-based travel business. So let me explain more in details how destination-based travel business will impact the local cities. First of all, demand for the inbound tourist is unprecedented, something different that we used to have. And the other issue was the handling fees are staying within the local area. So the tourism bureau, if they are used, at first 10% of our revenue goes away. However, Tanabe City Kumano Tourism Bureau receives travel fee from the tourist, but that is going to paid to the local suppliers as they handle travel. And then let's say that we pay to an accommodation system. So accommodation fee, so the accommodation place could be purchasing food for dining, or else have the local diners provide them materials. Then there's going to be the secondary payment within the local area. And along with the profit rise, there's going to be an increased employment. Therefore, when people are going to purchase more within the local area, this good circulation will be even boosting the economies within the localities. Therefore, there's going to be a large impact to the local economy. So 1.1 billion yen revenue will be grown more, such as like 1.5 billion or 2.0 billion. And it's not just about the economic benefits. So accommodation, lodgings will be providing foods to the travelers. And by that, the travelers will be more satisfied. And the local residents, when they are cherishing their culture of their locality, travelers will be experiencing a unique experience, just experienced at that site. And then the travelers will become certainly a great fan of Kumano. And that will also cultivate the great pride within the local people. So this is a virtuous circulation. And it also connects to the heritage, the succession of history and culture within the area. So the key to enriching the travel or tourism is coming from the idea how you understand the local regional circulation. So now let me turn my focus into what we have learned from COVID-19 pandemics. As explained with our sales, it also is related to tourism. So COVID has been impacting our tourism locally. It has also been impacting the sustainability of the DMO as well. So we have been starting out another type of businesses, meaning that Kumano is surrounded and blessed by ocean and mountains and river. Therefore, we started having and commercializing natural environment for people to learn and experience the Kumano's environment. So now we have completely been captivated ourselves by the depth of learning from the nature. And when we start this project, we aspired that the local children to be able to enjoy Kumano's nature. However, educational institutions are incredibly busy. So even if they know that the nature has abundant learning, they do not have time or room to incorporate new ideas. However, we were thinking that it could be possible to implement it as a replacement for what the teachers currently are doing. And we are very grateful for the Board of Education and teachers at the schools. In 2026, all 25 elementary schools in Tanabe City is now implementing this program. The training of interpreters, we call interpreters as a trainer, and interpreters is progressing smoothly too. And we now have 20 unique interpreters. What we are offering as a learning is also excelled too. So with various people contributing, we would like to contribute even more to the Kumano city. The Kumano's natural learning and natural school, we are aiming to build it up into our second and third pillar of our profit. And going forward, we will continue to strive to be resilient and adapt flexibly to the rising changes. Those were the major lessons we learned during COVID-19. So lastly, I would like to just explain this illustration. This is a crow, unique crow with the 3 feet. This is called Yatagarasu. It is a messenger of Kumano gods. So along with these 3 legs, we have 3 R's that we cherish and value. So first R is responsibility, responsible. So we approach tourism town development with responsibility. Next R is respect. So for all the tourists visiting Kumano, we will respect them. And we also respect local people. However, we must do even more. What is important is that tourists respect Kumano and the Kumano people. The final R is reality. So sustainability needs monetization. So when we uphold ideals, we always have to face the reality of economic activity. And we are running the DMO facing the reality. And thank you very much for listening.
Tada-san, thank you very much. Next, let me call upon DASTA, Community-Based Tourism Department under the DASTA Director of Community-Based Tourism Office, Ms. Wasana Bonsaban. If you could do a presentation. Thank you.
สวัสดีค่ะ
Hello, everyone. Chairman Shukuri of JTTRI, Commissioner Murata of JTA, Ambassador Wishu and Permanent Secretary Natalia, and members of working group and stakeholders. I am from DASDA. This is the designated areas for sustainable tourism administration. I am representing DASDA, and I'm very happy to be able to participate in this exchange of opinion session on DASDA's behalf. First, let me talk about DASDA, what we do. DASDA was established by Thai government in 2003. We are a government organization. Profit from tourism should be distributed and returned to local destinations, and that was the reason why we were established. Sustainable development of tourism destination is a role we play, and we do so in accordance with the international norms and standards. And UNESCO's UCCN guideline is what we do follow for developing creative cities, and also we develop local authorities' potential in administrating sustainable tourism. And we do creative community-based tourism development to following the international standards. GSTC, Global Sustainable Tourism Council, does have various objectives, but the major role is to make sure sustainable tourism around the world. And also talking about UNESCO, they have guidelines, and we are supposed to develop creative cities according to the guideline, which is the UCCN, the Creative City Network of UNESCO. And also, we develop local authorities' potential in administering sustainable tourism. And at the very right, we have CBT Thailand, which is the organization to develop creative community-based tourism based upon the international standards. And moving on to the next slide. This is showing the network under Tourism Authority, the Department of Tourism and Sports. And DASDA is in charge of designated area. This is a kind of upstream. So we develop tourism based upon designated area. And designated area and a prospective area would become attractive tourist destinations. So we develop those destinations in the form of designated areas. And our vision and mission is we do integrating the development of designated areas. And we need to be an organization of excellence and to drive tourist destination. And we need to have quality and standard for sustainable growth. And altogether, there are 6 principles: co-thinking and co-own. First is to think together, or co-thinking. The area will do co-thinking, and also they do co-planning. And another step is to do co-acting or implementing. And then after implementation, they need to be responsible together and then co-benefiting and to co-own. So those are the basics of DASTA. Within DASTA, there are 9 designated areas for sustainable tourism in Thailand. For example, Chiang Rai and Songkhla in the south, and Skortai and Sea Tachanai and Kampempet historical parks in the north. Those designated areas are set for sustainable tourism, and they have their announced targets and objectives, each individually. In the case of Pattaya, I think you know Pattaya. Pattaya is a major tourist destination, and they have a target to be creative and green innovative tourism city for sustainable tourism. They put emphasis on environment. So 9 designated areas have their own characteristics and to have objectives to make contribution to their environment. Now, talking about the rules and the standard for sustainable tourism development at the local government or at designated area or tourism destination level, and also community level, different levels exist for this tools. You have to meet standards to be designated, and the value obtained can be used to build capacity of local community to be able to participate and yield benefits from tourism. So this is another goal of community-based tourism development. Tourism is not the main source of funding, but the agriculture and the local industry is a main source of revenue. So the tourism would be a second pocket, if you will, of the revenue source. And by making those local community to participate in tourism, they can also develop the tourism that can be offered from that area. So because tourism is a second layer of the funding source or income source, they can be more relaxed about accepting tourism. Now, this is a community-based tourism development process. You have to have CBT compliant and a creative tourism and a low carbon. Those added value has to be created, and also a connecting quality market through smart CBT system, product training, correction testing, and combination or communication via partner network. Shall be also proceeded so that you could eventually receive award. And how does that develop community-based tourism? This is how we do. The cycle is from 1 to 7, and to build trust. And this is a tool for DASTA CBT development. You have community-based tourism or CBT. This is about the tools and guidelines for CBT. This is an example. You do a survey on community and prepare community, and then develop CBT capabilities and have access to CBT market and to maintain CBT. This is a very important tool set. This should be linked to regions tourism. Now, important tools are shown here. How value can be added is the major role to be played by tool, and you have QR code for each individually. So you can have a look at those tools. The first one is the main title. This is a DASTA CBT guideline of a development guideline, that is. For each area, they need to comply with standards for sustainability development. CBD Thailand or Sustainable Tourism Council, those are the bodies related to it. Now, community-based tourism expansion is shown here. 125 communities are now community-based tourism activity engagement. And the creative tourism value is shown here. Tourism resource and local resources, how those can enjoy added value is shown on this graph on this page. Economic value may be enhanced, or food processing, or maybe health, wellness can be aimed at. And the major concept is that various value creation or creativity exists, and this is one of the case studies. You have steps to explore and also improve on a continuous basis. This is one of the example of place called Nan. And as a case study, communities' waste resources can be developed so that it can be eventually be made into something that can be beneficial to the local community. Around the world, local tourism is drawing attention. How can you do that? In order to reduce carbon emission is shown here. Carbon neutral tourism case study is shown here. By utilizing LPG gas, or maybe providing water in a plastic bottle, or maybe you provide excess food, but you can revisit whether that can be a sustainable way. And also you need to sort garbage from the source, and by doing all sorts of things you can reduce carbon emission from all these activities. And local residents, if they focus more on tourism, what would be needed for the second phase is to think about health tourism or wellness tourism. And this is a community-based tourism for all. And if I may skip, these are various case studies. Community and youth development projects. And this is a process to a youth development. And shown here is that's the community-based tourism development tools. DASTA developed all these tourism tools. There are 6 digital tools and systems developed by DASTA. And international standards and international organization gave us some declarations, including UNESCO. There are regions which were awarded by UNESCO the prize now, which is the province in Thailand. In 2024, they received Best Tourism Village Award. And this is Asia Pacific or Pacific Asia Travel Association. They gave us some awards to one of our destinations. And this is a market linkage. as an area, they are creating values, and they got some award. And this is Thai's spiritual value connection, history, and including Pattaya, various regions and various areas. Looked at their histories so that tourists can experience histories and culture. Eventually, benefits and the profits are on the rise. In terms of Thai baht, these are the tourism revenue. In 2023 to 25, you see revenue increased and still is. Socially and economically, various benefits are being returned to the area. Thank you very much.
Wasana-sama.
Thank you very much, Ms. Wasana. Now we would like to have 10 minutes break. So the next starting date in Japanese time is 3 o'clock in Japanese time, and in Thailand time it is 1 o'clock. Thank you so much.
あと3分ほどで
We will resume our session in 3 minutes. We will resume our session in 3 minutes. Thank you very much.
間もなく再
We will be resuming our session very soon, so please go back to your seats. Thank you.
大変お待たせいたし
Thank you for waiting. Thank you for waiting. Now we would like to continue our expert presentation. From JTTRI, we have Senior Research Fellow, Mr. Kanbe, to talk about possible contribution to airlines to sustainable development and destination management. Mr. Kanbe, floor is yours. Permanent Secretary Natalia and the members from Thai delegation and the members from Japan, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I am Kanbe from Japan Transport and Tourism Research Institute. Today I will speak about possible contributions by airlines to sustainable tourism and destination development. Using case studies from 3 airlines, I will examine how airline can contribute to regional sustainability beyond simply transporting people. There are 3 main points I would like to cover today. First, the background of the research, including the trajectory of sustainability or sustainable tourism and why this research was conducted. And second, the research findings, including interviews with 3 airlines. And third, recommendations for airlines going forward. As reference material, we have compiled a timeline of trajectory of sustainable tourism. Sustainable tourism is not simply environmentally friendly travel. It is inseparably linked to climate change, regional decline, and over-tourism, and is increasingly discussed in the context of how tourism can be used as a tool for destination management. Next, I will explain why this research was conducted. While airlines are entities that have a major impact on tourism and human exchange, their negative aspects such as CO2 emissions and the promotion of tourism concentration have also become increasingly visible. Airlines are now expected to play roles beyond simply transporting visitors in relation to regional sustainability. Therefore, the airlines are carrying passengers from large cities to small cities, and also they are in charge of international transportation, so they have unique characteristics. Therefore, this research posed the question, How can airlines contribute to sustainable tourism and destination development? In this research, the major issues related to sustainable tourism and human exchange are organized into 7 themes: concentration and dispersion of visitors, capacity management of destinations, visitor behavior and responsible conduct, value-added products and regional development, human resource development and skills, destination management, and risk management. Using these 7 themes as keywords, we conducted interview research with ANA, JAL, and MHG Malaysia Aviation Group. We will now review the results in order. First, ANA. ANA accelerated its ESG management in response to COVID-19 pandemic and launched ANA Future Promise in 2021. And in 2023, the ANA Research Institute joined Destination International. This is an organization, and began implementing the destination management methodology called Destination Next. A key characteristics of ANA is that it positions regional and destination management as part of its mission. The ANA's basic approach places greater emphasis on contributing to destination management rather than simply supporting visitor promotion. By utilizing a program called Destination Next, they visualize the current situation, strengths and challenges of the region, and support consensus building through workshops. Another strength is that a member of Destination International, they can leverage the knowledge of advanced overseas DMO case studies and know-how. Their ultimate objective is to improving residents' quality of life, QOL. They have identified the key is to create communities where tourism is not treated as someone else's problem, but began supporting initiative in which the entire region participates in building consensus on its sense of crisis and future vision. Let me introduce ANA's practical initiative. This is an initiative with Kita Hokkaido DMO. The ANA Research Institute utilized Destination Next to develop initiatives aimed at enhancing and achieving self-reliance in destination development in 4 municipalities located in the northmost part of Hokkaido. The stage 1 was visualization of the DMO condition. They conducted survey directly with local government, tourism business, educational institutions, and residents, and then build a foundation of shared understanding among shareholders through workshop. So they built a foundation of shared understanding. Stage 2 was a specification of challenges and shared recognition. They connected 4 municipalities online and carried out discussions with participation from the entire region. Stage 3 was a development of strategies for concrete improvement points. They have accompanied the region from identifying specific improvement points through to strategy formulation. They means ANA Research Institute. Sorry, slide is rather lagging behind. Let's look at one example of 4th stage in practice after going through stages 1 through 3. It's an initiative called Work Experience Program, Japan's northmost working trip in winter. This is initiative just begun in February 2025 and is a regional contribution program realized through collaboration between Wakkanai Tourism Revitalization Promotion Council and ANA Research Institute and Waseda University. In this program, mainly students stay in North Soya area, which is northmost area, for 2 weeks and aim to expand the relational population through work experience in local agriculture and fisheries processing. These photos are photos taken during the course of work experience program. The compensation for this work experience is paid in local currency and fully spent during their stays. This created an environmental effect that contributes both to expanding tourism consumption and revitalizing the local economy. This program embodies the provision of diverse experiences, resident participation, and stabilization and improvement of regional income. Now, let's look at the research findings on Japan Airlines. JAL rebuilt itself following its 2010 bankruptcy and has strongly promoted business diversification from COVID-19 period and into the post-COVID era. In 2021, it positioned ESG as axis of management and identified coexistence with regions and creation of regional connection as top priorities. Furthermore, in 2023, it became the only airline to join the GSTC and began DMO support based on global standards. A key feature of JAL's approach is direct collaboration with DMOs and continuous engagement through people, including dispatch and secondment of their personnel. Its greatest characteristics is that introduction of international standard GSTC into regional management support through sustainable tourism, supporting the realization of regional management in which residents feel happiness and well-being. It is also characteristics that interaction with hospitality is identified as a key element for this support. As a practical example, there is a co-creation model of Yoron Island in Kagoshima Prefecture. And this is from JAL example. JAL and JAC, Japan Air Commuter, signed an MOU with Yoron Town on promoting sustainable tourism and began comprehensive support. Here, I will introduce 3 main initiatives. The first is attracting responsible visitors, which concerns community support and resident participation. A travel product Tabi Academy will be explained on the next slide. As part of diversity response, inbound response, which is language and accessibility response, and barrier-free measures are being strengthened. The second is practical support for regions and business. For the acquisition of GSTC destination certification, GSTC auditors trained among JAL employees are dispatched and comprehensive support, including consulting service, is provided. The third is securing stable financial resources, namely initiatives for stability or stabilizing and improving regional income and ensuring fair distribution across the region. Especially the introduction and expansion of destination-based tax donation has been implemented. The difficulty was the consideration of introduction and policy design of accommodation tax. they are still making some activities regarding introduction of accommodation tax. Now, I will explain travel product called Tabi Academy for Yoron Island as one of JAL's practical initiatives. Village culture, island living with the starry city. Sorry, it was first held in February 2025. Island Yoron works to balance tourism promotion and environmental conservation and has been selected as one of the top 100 sustainable destinations. Collectively working to obtain Japan's first ever GT certification, striving to foster residents' pride in their island. The day program. Experience protection of natural resources and culture exchange. Well, participants are in their 30s and 50s for your reference. Let's move on to MAG, Malaysia's National Tourism Policy 2020 to 2030 was a background. Group-wide Sustainability Division in 2022. Environmental domain with a firm commitment implementing net zero. Like two airline G contributes to regions directly through traveler choice and product design. Want to avoid greenwashing, MAG restrains external communication and focuses on operational improvement and product design. Actual example of MAG initiative for sustainable tourism is that you can see 1 through 3. Next one is the visualization of sustainable accommodations through MAG's e-commerce. The booking process, easy to understand icons and clear explanations of each accommodations initiatives are displayed. And the second one, trade initiative that and the tradition through MAG's in-flight sales system. Alunang Coral Project. End of the sales are dedicated to coral reef conservation. This summarizes the explanations that I have made thus far. Now, I'd like to share a sense of crisis, a very strong sense of crisis felt by airlines. So I would like to introduce a population as of September 2025 is going to be going down to 90 million in 2070, and aging will be around 39% in 2070. Meaning, penetration in urban area and also increase in marginal settlement, meaning there is a risk of losing unique regional resources and culture, also leading to the risk of route reduction and suspensions of their rights. Now, I would organize the challenges for all airlines and destination regarding future sustainable tourism and destination. There are 3 challenges for airlines. Although airline initiatives are increasing, but it's important to verify whether they actually improve regional sustainability. KPIs must be aligned. It will be important whether airlines are incorporated into the destination decision making. What about the destination side? So to view sustainable tourism as a tool for destination management and strengthen decision making, strategy, and implementation capabilities of DMOs and local governments. the local governments, instead of doing them on their own, maybe making lines can strengthen their data strategies and compliance with international standards. So I think working with airlines, they can be supported. Now, lastly, I would like to have recommendation for airline going forward. Now, first is the expansion of their potentialities. They need to shift their vision from a guest sending industry to community-based destination development infrastructure. Should support regional decision-making through MOUs and talent. Second domain. It should provide regional support based on international standards such as the SDC. And they should create relational populations. Here, airlines' characteristics are leveraged to create international stakeholder networks, connecting not just among Japan, but also internationally. So IATA DDS specific data can be utilized for strategy development. And lastly, redefining owned systems, such as in-flight and booking systems. Those can be used as a media to disseminate regional information to passengers. And this is the crew resource management, which is a human factor approach skills, resilience, and also a consensus making of the region. This can be used for the government, companies, and residents work team to make decision. And also a better quality of decision made through consensus, and they can have a culture of the organization to learn from mistakes. I was able to find a possible contribution to the sustainable tourism and destination management. Clients should not stay outside of the region, but can be a partner development for sustainable tourism. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kambe, Senior Research Fellow of JTTRI. Now, we are Ms. Spanish Tianxing, Director of Meetings and Incentive Department, TCEB, to speak. Her title is Coordination to Competitiveness, the Evolving Role of CVBs and DMOs in Co-Creating Sustainable MICE Destinations. Please. 皆様、こんにちは。So, Mr. Shukuri and Miss Natalia, the Permanent Secretary, and the people from the working group from Thailand. Hello. So, I am Spanish Tianxing, Director of Meetings and Incentives Department. B. Very happy that I am giving this opportunity to have an exchange in this venue. Within the MICE MICE, I would like to talk of the important portion. So far, we have been coordinating, and we have been thinking that coordination is part of the adjustment from our operation point of view. However, this cooperation cannot be done by just one organization. So it should be with a co-creation by the public and the private and the local communities. All must be hands together to design and make decision makings, and every stakeholders must be working in the same direction. This is going to be creating this competitive MICE and destination, which is based on the understanding that we are all creating something necessary and valuable with all stakeholders. So meaning that everybody should coordinate together in order to reach the final destination. So today I would like to talk about 6 main pillars. So first, it is about evolving role of CBBs and DMOs. Number 2, collaboration as advantage. Number 3, partnering with CBBs and DMOs. And number 4, making collaboration work. And number 5, Thailand in practice. And number 6, destination impact as a MICE. So I will be discussing in the flow of what I have been describing. So our purpose is to make our sustainability much more stronger for our MICE destination. CBBs. The role of CBBs and the DMO's role is not only coordination, but then it has been evolving into creating environment these days. So sector is connected with the same purpose, and the industry, in order to create the value, the tool and platforms will be provided by us, partners, and the local communities along with them. Experienced people and the success will be designed. It is not just only coordination, and it's going to be a shift to a driver. So number 1, number 2, and number 3. Written down here, so it means connect, enable, and co-create. And with these 3-phase steps, these are very important to us. And by focusing on these 3 aspects, tourism industry should be evolving and developed. And by having the same destination, all stakeholders will benefit the activity. That is our thought. The co-creation, whoever has been cooperating to the co-created part will be benefiting, and that is making the activity fair for the return. And MICE industry has a challenge which is mainly coming from the complexity of the challenges. No one organization can make a solution on its own. Therefore, all sectors must create a system so they can cooperate. If we are separated, a long-term target will not be achieved. And within the short-term purpose, it will not long last. Cooperation will be leading to the sustainability. That is a key core of our understanding. And this slide, this is the process of the development. It is not just only an concept or theory. So the start of the cooperation is not creating the plan, but to have the same purpose. First of all these stakeholders must discuss and understand what is their ideal success. And then based on that, select partners. And it is not just focusing on numbers, but we focus on quality. We must be having a clear role, and every partner should be understanding their partner's value in order to a success. However, also working together, but also competing each other. The appropriate work between the private and the public and the local areas, that will be creating trust within the area. And the policy at the side, CBB and DMO, this is a world trend. However, in order to implement this at the practical level of the regional area, we need to play our roles. And this is not only going to be a short-term success, but a long-term success if it is sustainable. For instance, the MO is extremely important as a role. As already shared, DMO can create a world trend, as already mentioned. So this is how a CBB can enable collaboration. Number 1, it could provide a neutral collaboration platform. So let's say the campaign that engages private companies will be held, and in such way, we believe that such a methodology is crucial so that all people will have an opportunity for participation, and that is to be a start off of our activity. And the second point is lowering the barriers between stakeholders. Talk about barriers, it is about information or the procedures, and then the challenges for registrations and adjustments should be lowered or reduced. And number 3, this is about enabling continuous co-creation across project. So it's not going to be a standalone project, but it will be going beyond trans-industry, trans-project. And at the point of MICE community, by the activity of the MICE, will be forming the coordination platform so that we can create a value sustainably. And this is the case of the Thailand and MICE Industry Connector. That is what TSEB themselves. And TSEB is a hub in order to start connecting the MICE industry. So first of all, the condition in order to connect should be collected with us, and we are to connect all MICE industries within the nation. And then we will be matching the appropriate government level organizations along with the private sectors and to expand the value. The TSEB, the strength is we're not just only focusing on the central part of Thailand, but we have 10 MICE cities, and we are expanding opportunities in those 10 MICE cities, which are expanded all around the nation. So there could be extensive travels, or else maybe an event that is coordinated with the local culture, and their exhibition could be held. That way, MICE activities will be launched in 10 MICE cities, which are run by which is run by my organization TSEB. With that, the MICE industry will be boosted up from the bottom, so that's a bottom-up activity. And with our activity, long-term sustainable MICE development will be created as a platform. And this is Thailand's local festivals, and it is a promotion for international markets. Thailand, using the local festival, we use it as an important tool to connect it to the international world. And throughout the year, there's many festivals locally, uniquely existing. Therefore, it could be combined with the MICE activity. With this combination, community tourism, or beyond the boundaries of the local areas, or beyond seasonalities, we can have an improved value in the area. So the festivity is not just only a tourism event, but it is an important factor in order to combine it with the MICE in order to have a sustainable tourism for MICE. This is prefecture of the Thailand. This is regarding Chiang Mai. So there's 12 months, 12 festivals. So every month of Chiang Mai has a festival, and we are working along with them. This picture is about the wellness destination for MICE traveler. Various campaigns and various contribution is done by TCEP. We focus on wellness, health, destination. And by having such a wellness destination, MICE will be the core to be connected with the local area. So such endeavor is done by TSEB. It says on the chart, meet wellness. So directly it means that you are to coincide your health wellness in Thailand. This means we're focusing on tourism, but mainly on health and wellness. Or massage is well known for it. And using the good nature, the factors, we are very much inclined to holding a wellness campaign and travel. So we have wellness, welcome connected. So this is about the experience that traveler can have with the Thai's well-known, most highest experience for wellness. And this is association partners. These partners will be coordinating with each other so that the tourism industry could be scaling efficiently, effectively. What this slide shows is that strategic work is not just focusing on short-term purpose, but will be raising the value of the local area for a long term, and we will be having a stronger destination differentiation, and we'll be competing on a balanced regional development. And expanding MICE, delivering MICE to the local area, the economy, sustainability, and the strength will be scaled. So well-balanced regional development is going to be the foundation of the development of the tourism industry. And with that, the destination will be meaningful and will be much more valuable. Third, the enhanced value creation. So this is about the creation of the value for the whole value chain. It is the owners of the MICE holders, or else it could be about the local organizations, but we'll be having a better cooperative ties. And the collaboration will be having a competitive advantage with the cooperation. So it's not just about the CBBs and the DMOs, but we should be shifting our strength much more into the competitiveness and to evolve more. So along with Japan, we would like to work with a very long partnership together and create and development together. So we welcome Japan's movement as well in order to be competitive within the world arena. And working group is one of its crucial meeting. Thank you very much for your kind listening.
Spanish-sama.
Panic-san, thank you very much. Now, we would like to move on to discussion session. Tada-san, Sasaki-san, and Nakasugi-san, please put your camera on. You who are participating online, you can use Q&A function for if you are questions or opinion regarding the initiatives of the two countries, as well as questions regarding the theme of working. Please put your question into action, and when you do so, please write down to whom you are your question. If you want to have questions answered, give us your name and email address and association, because we may not be able to answer all of the question. The question should be given by 4 Japan time or 2 Thai time. So this is the panelists list. Now, we would like to start our discussion. I am Executive Director, JTTRI-AIRO. Tomita is my name. First, about the presentation, maybe we can have Mr. Wada to give us the summary of the issues that we need to discuss.
して、
Thank you very much. Now, I have been in charge of tourism sector in the past, and in Japan, where population decline is progressing, it's regarded as a pillar of the growth strategy and a trump card for regional revitalization. So it's a field which expectations are very high. As was mentioned by Tada-san from Tanabe, from the standpoint of those who are involved in tourism, we would like to use tourism to revitalize region, both in Thailand and Japan. I believe most important common challenge is how to encourage travel from major cities such as Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka, or Bangkok to regional area. Connect this to solving the issue faced by these regions. I think I can point out three things. Having heard your discussion, the first is the role of DMO. How can we accumulate successful cases of DMO activities? As was mentioned by Mr. Murata, DMO has a very noble mission, but there are three key points. One is a collaboration among players who have shaped the uniqueness of the region, and the second is strategies to attract visitors to the region and increase tourism consumption, and the third is strategies to enhance the sustainability of the regional economy and regional society. There are 360 DMOs, but still they are in the process of development. How to nurture them to create successful cases at an early stage is a major challenge. In order for many DMOs to grow into world-class DMO, we are actually urgently developing model DMOs. In Tanabe, you have visited, is one of the 11 model DMOs that exist in Japan. And TSEP's Spanish-san mentioned that by strengthening collaboration with DMOs, the unique characteristics of 10 MICE cities are being communicated to the world and linked to hosting MICE events domestically. So I felt that this is a great information for Japanese DMOs. And the second issue is global tourism. How are we going to promote that? Ms. Vatsana from DASTA, we heard that in Thailand, initiatives are being undertaken in 9 regions from the perspective of sustainable tourism, and CTB was mentioned. Although areas are not designated here in Japan, but sustainability of tourism is an important pillar of the tourism policy. We are conducting model projects and working to increase number of destinations that meet UNWTO international standard. Both in Thailand and Japan, not just reducing load on environment, but we need to work to reduce over-tourism, and DMO and the local governments should make sure the tourism will increase community economy and also its sustainability. So I think we have some commonalities. In that sense, DASTA's experience can be of great reference, and we would like to engage ourselves in more discussions. And also, researcher Kambe-san from our research institute talked about the airline companies who are regarded to be not so closely related to the regional revitalization, but he talked about the initiative of the airline company. So I think important is that the various stakeholders to work together. And the third point is the consensus building within the region. How can we do that is a challenge. Commissioner Murata and Tada-san from Tanabe spoke about good to live in and good to visit. Also, Wasana-san, that resident satisfaction has increased and more regions are now meeting international standards for sustainability tourism. There are so many benefits of tourism, but not limited to economic gain, but also include deep deepening a mutual understanding between visitors and residents and providing opportunities for residents to recognize value. But if the over-tourism and also poor manners, those actually create rejections of tourism among residents. So what is important is to win understanding of the residents and also try to reach consensus among the players within the region. The situation of tourism is different in each region, and the key players and key personnel may be different. And therefore, one size won't fit everyone, but perhaps know-how from successful consensus building case may be a good reference point to each other. Those are the 3 points I would like to mention, having heard your presentation, and really hope that the discussion will be a very fruitful one. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. President Wada has been mentioning points of discussion, but we're not confined to just 3 points. Please refer to the 3 points that Mr. Wada mentioned. So from here on, we would like to separate 2 parts. The first part is about today, until yesterday. So we would like to have a comment or opinion at the field site or investigations. And I think Tada-san's cases now refer to this first part. Would be any comments or any questions? Oh, please start.
ค่ะเรียนท่านประธาน
So, President of the JTTRI and all people, thank you very much. Thank you very much. My name is Wichini from DOT. So, people from the JTTRI, thank you so much for giving us such a great opportunity to visit the on-site. The delegation of Thailand has been learning so much at various tourism site. So we all have a role in order to develop the tourism industry. And within the locality, we were able to visit at hand the field. And especially when we went to visit Tanabe City, we felt the spirit of the people, the Japanese people living in the city. The Tanabe City personnel were explaining us that they are not focusing on a large major tour. However, they're focusing much more on the local residents, and we felt that. So it's not just only a large group focus on, but rather on the local people's living. So what we felt at the field site was that in Japan, as the commissioner mentioned, about a living and good for visiting. And that point resonates to Thailand. We are working more to expand the tourism in Thailand. We would like to have that as an anchor for us. We can just case the Phuket. For instance, that area, the Phuket, very much by the over-tourism. The local people are impacted. Therefore, we must resolve their problem too. Please hold on. That was when we visited Kushimoto town. It was impactful and impressive about reconstructions of the tourism site, and local citizens were also participating, which hit our heart strong. Giving so much that we notice what we can improve. And regarding DMO, we are working in order to promote the DMO in Thailand. It is not clearly solidified which way we should work on. Therefore, when we visit Japan this time, and it was very valuable that we were able to see around Japan and feel the Japanese tourism site. It was very meaningful to us. So regarding tourism in Thailand, Japan, about the tourism agency. Thank you. So this time the visit has been realized by the invitation of the JTTRI. And I come from the TAT. We have been considering how to develop each touristic site in Thailand. But during our activities, we come to understand to have a good balance between Japan and Thailand in order to have a good balance between the two nations. So Thailand people visiting Japan, there's a higher population of the Thai people visiting Japan. And by us acting on our roles and by having many Thai people visit, and for us being visiting many Japanese touristic sites, we were able to understand the know-hows. And we have also started reducing the over-tourism problem in Thailand as well. I personally felt was that during this workshop, for instance, I'm referring to Kumano, Tanabe town. Kumano's target was so it was very a suitable destination for attracting the Western people, is what I thought. And the international airport of Nankishirahama, we had a lecture there, and the target for Thailand, it is to be planning on the DMO and to develop. So, but going through such a lecture, we felt, or I felt, that it is very much important to narrow down the target. So thank you very much for letting us go visit various sites and go through the workshop. We would like to have our experiences connected to our improvement. Thank you. Thank you. This is a comment from my side. And regarding the field study or investigations this time in Japan, Japan is focusing very much on the sustainable tourism. I thought it was a great thing to do. So among Thailand and Japan, as President Wada of JTTRI mentioned, in Dasta, we do have a special location designated. These are 9 areas that we designate as a model region. And these 9 areas with the developed tourism have a high quality destination. So we're not talking about the numbers, but we need to have the tourism site with a high quality, and we would like to narrow down on the visitors, travelers traveling over to those 9 areas with a high quality. And We're not attracting just only in larger cities such as Phuket or Pattaya for tourism, but apart from the main urban cities, there are local areas. We would like to extend that momentum over to the smaller local cities and towns, and that is something that we need to work on as a challenge going forward. So until some level, we are able to already perform. However, we do have some limitation. The voices of the local people are not coming straightly to the central area. So what I mean is that local people, community, could be standing up for sustainable tourism. However, there are many objectives standing. Therefore, it is indispensable that the central government also pitches in. So currently, as DASTA, co-creation, co-own, that those elements should be needed, and we also need to cooperate in order to realize our state of being that we wish for. And as President Wada mentioned, so we had a good piece of advice from President Wada. And not just only the urban cities where there's many tourists like Kyoto or Tokyo Central, but the good part of Japan is that Japan is rich with the transportation methodologies. The modality is there, so railways, airplanes is very developed as a network. Therefore, it is easy for travelers to go along. So this delegation of Thailand is loving Japan and frequenting over to Japan for their tourism. We all love Japan, so we are thinking that how can we disperse the people, local, the tourism people to not just central area, but to the local area.
กำไมเข้าสู่ประเทศ
Hello, I would like to talk about the point of CBV. Also for marketing, among the places we visited in our field study of Kumano in Tanabe City, find it quite interesting. Marketing-wise also, it was quite interesting to see what market needs, what market demands. We need to understand, and that's something I was feeling. So going forward, we will see digitalized society, so IT and the tools, we think it's important to actively utilize them. DMO, destination. We need to think about how we successfully carry out digital marketing, and that's what we also put emphasis on as well. Transportation-wise, how can we connect major cities to countryside, which I think is another important point. Some information. Tourists are not yet fully equipped with information, so we take upon challenges to deliver information as quickly as possible to tourists, because tourists spend a lot of time in collecting information. By having such an obstacle, the challenge of over-tourism may be resolved. Digital-based information is still scarce. I think policy is not handling digital-based information well enough, and therefore the information concentrates on major tourist destination, thereby creating over-tourism. So we need to think about that as well. Rather than trying to accept all tourists, how can we entice high-quality tourists to our destination? Should be the focus to enhance quality of the business of tourism as a whole. Different locality may have different characteristics, but what I felt from DMO here in Japan is that they are getting support from private sector companies, which I think was great. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much. I was so deeply impressed by the places I visited. Learning firsthand show us how DMO is being promoted by Japanese people and how DMO is connected to the community and society. JTTRI, the research institute, so academic tourists analysis or a tourism related information dissemination is area that I think JTTRI is making contribution to tourism industry. And JTA in relation to nature-friendly activities and carbon emission reduction, and also utilization of natural resources. It's a DMO called it's called the Februay. We would like to learn from or utilize the learning from Japanese DMO. Go back, and that's what Thai government is promoting. In other words, collaborating with researchers, we can deepen understanding. So JTTRI is what is being done, is the entity who is doing what I have just said. But as was mentioned by Kambe-san just now, experience we have gained in Japan and academic data we gained in Japan, we would like to use them to do zero carbon or zero CO2 emission initiative in Thailand. We would like to pull ourselves together to make a contribution to CO2 emission reduction in Thailand. If you come to Thailand, in how researchers are carrying out the research and what sort of standard they are working against is something I would like to show you around.
ท่านประธานร่วมของทั้งสองฝ่ายนะคะแล้วก็คณะทำงานทุกท่านนะ
Now, over the past 2 days, we were able to have field survey and field study. I would like to mention 3 things from my experience. At all the places we visited, I felt as follows. Depopulation is an issue that they are encountering. But even so, population decline or declining population is not a factor for hindering success. Well, in Thailand, we haven't yet overcome the issue of depopulation, and the society is aging. So from the tourism perspectives, we need to tackle this issue. In Thailand, young people go to metropolis and they work in large cities and not to return to their hometowns, and that is oftentimes happening in Thailand. If tourism development happens in outskirts, those people who went to overseas to work may actually return to their hometowns. So what is most important is those living in the district. Their lives would be benefited and they feel happiness. So community residents are the most important element. So how many tourists would come to the region? Even if there are so many people coming, unless residents are feeling happy about that, it won't mean anything at all. So more than tourists, we need to put the local residents in the center of whatever we do. And that is a determination I was able to derive at. However, that would be difficult, but the local residents may sometimes oppose the development. So how can we win collaboration from the community members in terms of development of the tourism? Is an issue because we want to have participation of local citizens to tourism. And that is the issue that Thailand is encountering. So we want to resolve this issue. The second one is about DMO. There are differences between Thailand and Japan in terms of how DMOs are formed. In Japan, authorities are given to the local communities, and local communities and the district can run DMO out of their initiative. I think in terms of value chain, it is working in Japan, which is difficult in Thailand. In Japan, one organization have comprehensive activities, and authority given to such an institute is progressing. In Thailand, if we want to carry out or establish DMO, different divisions collaborating with each other to run for a common goal to deep diving into the goal is something that we encounter difficulties. So we would like to refer to what DMO is doing in Japan so that through discussions we can identify pros and cons. So that will be the source for improvement going forward.
หน่วยงาน
So as MOTS, we came to visit Japan. And with the exchange of the national level, this visit we would like to use and bring back all the experiences as a model text in order to bring back to our nation in order to realize our ideal state. And then going forward in 5 years' time, how much can we develop on the each of the regions is a question. And in that sense, this is very meaningful that we were able to come to participate in today's or this time's working group. Thank you so much. Well, maybe want a word from JNTO and the JTA, please. Mr. Taura from JNTO, please. So, my name is Taura from JNTO, Japan National Tourism Organization. I was able to participate, and I have two comments in order to speak. So, first of all, Ms. Tada from the Tanabe Tourism Bureau, he mentioned about shifting from boom to roots. That was the basic foundation, and she has been, or the organization has been following that foundation position for 20 years since the establishment of the Bureau. And this was about the key peninsula and the coordination. Mori-san has mentioned about that area. And DMO is, so this person has been mentioning that DMO works like a vision maker of what the local people would like to envision. As a holder, so the stakeholders will be involved and the DMO will be working like a hub in order to make things realized. What I felt at DMO was, of course, they are based on their perspective of the local people and the wellness, the well-being of the local people. Based on those ideas, people were working. But as the Thailand people has just been mentioning, we should be narrowing down and focusing on a specific market. And in order to realize a strategy, Thailand is honing up the whole activity. So that those part is going to be the power of envisioning and to realize what they would also like to envision. And about the facility of the tourism, the key peninsula in the Tanabe area, this is a very moderate scenery, which is coming from the classical old type of Japanese sceneries are shown, and they have spirituality from the old age as well. And there were also people who have been working like a folklore people were able to down the local stories, and people were enjoying that activity and exchanges. So what I was very much impressed was that even with the tourism eyesight, I was those people will be experiencing much of the local cities, and that experience will open up the sight of the travelers, the touristic people, and that possibility is unlimited. So after I have been going back to my home after Tanabe, I also shared my experience with my family. So as such, there's a good experience, that good experience and that motivation that you felt very good will be expanding to the other area of the world. And such a story, the local story that was created at the area, it should be synchronized in order to bring it and connect it to the market. So one impressive word was from President Kimura of Askaruten. He was saying that we would like to have a rigorous local community so that the younger people who have out of the city or the town to earn a living can come back home anytime. That was also mentioned from our Thai counterpart as well. So challenges are also experienced in the same way, likewise in Thailand and in Japan. And I think the two nations are focusing and facing the same direction as well. Therefore, with this good opportunity through tourism, we would like to work on so that we can endeavor to have a sustainable local area. And as one of the member of this loop, I would like to do my utmost. Thank you very much. This is Shibazaki from the JTA, and through the field investigation, I was thinking that connecting local people by having a big vision to have a rigid strategy is needed. So it's not just only creating the facility or the infrastructure which is visible, but we must be robust in creating some direction which is invisible. That core mission, the Kumano area has been using their that they have at hand as much as possible. And through this is also a good model that has an affinity to the Thailand, which is focusing on their activity based on community-based activity. Much impactful was more than a hardware, the software capacity. For instance, coordination and adjustment was shown. And when we went to Adobe, President Kimura mentioned that. So the local people has been bringing in, pitching in 100,000 yen each in order to set up a right mechanism. And I was so touched with the story, meaning that the local people are standing up for their own and they are working in the center and giving love to the local area where they live. Will open up the attractiveness of the local area, which will be attracting people and the visitors. And as a Japanese, I once again felt the importance of cherishing your hometown. Areas important part of your memory. So for all the municipalities, whether it be Japan or whether it be Thailand, I think we should be on nurturing such local area. This time we went through various area for the examinations or looking at the areas. We were able to tourism as a ideal that can function in order to create a sustainable model. So we should not just end this workshop just as a one-time learning or a training, but we would like to connect it to one further movement and activity. And along with everybody, we would like to work for sustainable cooperations. Therefore, we would like to collaborate and expand more on the Thailand and Japanese collaboration. Thank you very much on your comment. So almost comments and not questions. And Hada-san, if you have any comment or any opinion or any questions, please. Thank you so much. So, your stay was very short. However, thank you so much for having such a sharing with me. You seem to have a lot of impact from us. So, as a positioning of a local DMO, I would like to share what I am usually feeling. So we are experiencing depopulation in Japan. This is unique to Japan, and under that condition, as the local area, tourism is a very important way of means to make a living. So tourism is like a good tool or a weapon for us. And Kumano took several thousand years in order to cultivate such environment. Our president, sir, has been creating an cultural, a ritual, spiritual, pilgrimage road, and we are now using that as a source of tourism. So by understanding that, we would like to leverage to the tourism. And then in a good format, in a good way, we'd like to success culture and history to the next generation. So that is what I am always mindful about. In order to make tourism sustainable, economic activity is always there. Therefore, we use what we have and then we earn. And then whatever we have earned as a profit, it should be reinvested. So reinvestment comes in a very different format, but that could be a very important. And the local people cherishing their hometown. However, it's not probably so that people were always proud of their local areas, although it became an World Heritage Site. Kumano, people were not thinking that Kumano was so great. It was just only a mountain trail is what we always were thinking. However, within that mountain roads, travelers from overseas come from abroad, from very distant areas, and looking at these travelers coming from a very long distance, then the local people are becoming very much proud of their area. So when we are just confined within one local area, we don't notice how great we are, how valuable we are. However, the wind that the traveler comes and brings over will be making us noticing how valuable our local area is. And that is the meaning of the tourism.
Well, thank you very much for staying in Kumano for 2 days and feeling a lot of many things. I really appreciate, and I hope you will find opportunities to come back to Kumano in the future. Thank you. Thank you. We would like to move on to the second point. Questions and comments regarding experts' presentation. Summarized 3 points. How can we accumulate DMO successes, and how can we promote sustainable development, and how can we promote consensus within the region? Those points, and also other points. If you have any comments. Saito-san and Takenaka-san and Sasaki-san from Thailand. In this order, please. Thank you. Saito from JTA. I prepared some notes, but I guess everyone has already taken my idea already, so I may be duplicating something that you have said, but from the viewpoint of JTA, let me say nevertheless. I am in charge of mainly promotion of Japan vis-a-vis overseas tourists. And from that viewpoint, I would like to talk about the sustainable development of a destination. As was mentioned, one of the biggest challenge is that the concentration tourists causing over-tourism issue. Therefore, there are many frictions between residents and tourists. 10 years, so-called inbound traveler doubled over the past 10 years. And because of that, we are having those issues because we didn't have them in the past. As you have been mentioning, travelers' level of satisfaction and peaceful life of community, how can we pursue these two goals at the same time is an issue. And in such a case, I agree with you that when you say that we should put priority on community residents, now we have more foreign tourists coming to Japan, causing a lot of challenges. However, for overall Japan, I think it is important to get more inbound travelers coming to Japan. As was mentioned by Narayan-san, Japan is depopulating and aging is progressing. Domestic travel demand is going to shrink in the future. To supplement that, sustainable destination creation should be created with the help of inbound travelers coming in. And also concentration on large cities, not so many tourists going to local area is a challenge that we are still working on. So dispersal of the traveler to various many places would require various measures. So regions or DMOs need to be the leading force in dispersing travelers. Kumano's Tourism Bureau also mentioned, and also CBT mentioned from Thai side. The one thing in common is the community resident should be the center of endeavor, and to carry out communication with the travelers by inviting travelers from outside. We need to revitalize region, and which is a very important. I think Kumano is a very successful case in this. Once we have consensus within the destination, DMO can do marketing to invite more travelers to come in, and then travelers may pay the accommodation tax, and the tax may be reinvested into the district. The virtuous cycle may be created as a result. CBT's efforts in that sense involves stakeholders within the region and also process of development. I think these efforts are verbalized very nicely. So the creating a sustainable destination here in Japan can learn a lot from the efforts of CBT. So as far as JTA is concerned, those regions are trying to do such a things, we would like to help them so that we can make more successful cases here in Japan going forward. And that is all from me. Hello. Takenaka from JNTO. Thank you very much. Until yesterday, you were on site. I think our local survey was quite meaningful. As I felt from the meeting last time in Thailand, I really wanted to join field study. The regional vision of sustainability, maybe sometime 10 years ago, in order to stop depopulation of Japan and also to make Japanese society, which is vital for the future, central government and local government up a future vision to create attractive industry which would support the local districts. So that was a kind of starting point. But in that framework, the tourism was considered to be one of the important industry measure. So DMO working and coordinating with stakeholders in order to create a consensus for the region. There could be various challenges, but as you saw in Tanabe Kumano, the Bureau of Travel and other DMOs are making such efforts toward that end. As well as a JNTO, we would communicate the beauty of Japan to outside audience so that they would come to Japan and especially local area so that the sustainable destination can be created. Now, when it comes to our relationship with DMO, after me, Mr. Nakasugi will talk, but we are going to utilize our overseas network to understand the demand from overseas travelers, or maybe kind of a hook to foreign travelers to feel coming to Japan. Actually, Japan's beauty to overseas, and that is what JNTO is trying to do. Digital tool utilization was mentioned, and also how accurately we can deliver information was mentioned. But based upon what we discussed, we would like to carry out various measures. So using a space like this, we would like to exchange information and opinion to both of us, both our nations can develop our tourism industry going forward. Now, Mr. Sasaki, the secretary, please. I am Sasaki from Japanese Embassy in Thailand. Thank you very much for the offer of the chance to speak. Now, DASTA was introduced its activities. TAT and DOTS, those were mentioned in the slide. They are saying that they are building a supply capability. This is one of the model for region development, and this is one of the strengths of Thailand. Now, DMO's M means management, or maybe marketing, including myself. We try to emphasize on PR to let tourists come, but the management and the marketing, these M's are more like demand side approach, but also supply side approach. Importance is disseminated by using these M's, marketing and management. And there was information about the airline company's case, and this is to do with the supply side viewpoint. So there is a commonality side of the DMO. Recently, booms coming to the area that is picked up by SNS. Maybe that can be a success as a marketing tool. from the supply side or region side or community side, the activities are important. So Tanabe's story was more valuable in that respect. In the past, recently, I visited the International Travel Exhibition, and that was a place where we are going to do PR to attract foreigners. But the booth is made by state or by country. In Japan, of course, the national government have a booth, but also regions have a booth as well. Already. Of course, that is because Thai people likes Japan, but vis-a-vis overseas, we not just speak from the government lips, but also the destinations or region. So that is the role of DMO, and we have many DMOs. So there may be many challenges, but that is a source of potential as well. So we have a high hope role to be played by DMO. Next year, we will be celebrating 140 year of establishment of diplomatic relationships. So towards that, we want to make efforts.
Nakasagi, please. Thank you very much. This is Nakasagi. So today's working group, and thank you very much for letting me participate. This was an extremely good opportunity for me. And for me, so I am always trying to make a development toward the Thailand people. And and I got to learn that most of the people in Thai is visiting Japan 4 times or more, or else maybe 30% of the Thailand people is visiting Japan for the 6th time or more. So it seems that Thailand people is very much synchronizing with the Japanese people. So which area would the Thai people would like to know in the area of Japan, or what history or background would Thailand people would like to know for Japan? And as there was a sharing from the Dasta, where the city, a local community is now booming, and we need to create a story, the local story, community story, which could appeal to the travelers, which will be very important. People have been mentioning that the local people having much more visitors from overseas will be bringing some much more pride for the local areas as well. So for the younger generations, maybe there could be or struggles for the younger generations to keep up and hand down all the activity that we are working. However, we need to understand us respectively with reciprocity. Therefore, we would like to work together, reaching out to the younger generations. And regarding wellness, the key word has been mentioned already within the presentation. However, these days, many people are coming over to us, requesting us that we would like to go to a facility or a local area community where we can feel a sense of living worthwhile to live. So it could be related to the area in Japan where Japan is aging and having a smaller amount of birth rates. Therefore, maybe the challenges that is experienced within the local area, the community, could be linked to the travel tools, linked to incentive travel, or maybe such a travel. So in that sense, Japan and Thailand could be working together going forward, exchanging information and to evolve even further. So to that end, we need to expand even more the personal exchanges in various layers. So next year, we are going to be enjoying 140th year of anniversary of the diplomatic ties. Therefore, we would like to coordinate with the government people, government level too. So with that, thank you very much. Maybe a comment from the Thai side. If you do have any comment or question, please. So I will comment again. So our site visit was fantastic. Regarding DMO, the way of administering the DMO, or else the companies were having a very strong impact on the DMO, and that was impactful too, impressive. We went to the airport. We had a lecture at the airport as well. And Thai has yet to work on for the transportation because we are lacking within those areas. The second point that I would like to raise is the route. The touristic route, you had a model case, and that was very spectacular, especially the Kumanokodo, the Yata Garasu, the three-legged crow or the raven, and each of the leg had some meaning, which was good as well. And you had a respect to nature, which we were able to feel at hand. So that was all about Japan. And when we went through a lecture in Wakayama is rich. Their land is 80% and mountains and forests. That was also good as well. And the food culture was also good as well. The legend and the folklore that has been residing within the area was also meaningful. So all these experiences made our experiences special. The Tanabe city has been working for 20 years for DMO, and that was so impressive. I thought they were a model. Thank you so much. So again, I would like to make a comment. It is about Tanabe city, and the lecture that we heard at Tanabe was also something that I was not able to forget. So Tanabe city seems to be an area where community can live at ease, and they have rich nature, and it seems that every people is having pride in their culture. And regarding living, people were taking great pride in living within the area. The Kumanokodo Mountain Trail, it's a World Heritage, and we heard that it's a World Heritage. So Tanabe City is now a host of various travelers from all parts of the world, and I was so impressed about this. After actually going through the site, I felt it was very meaningful that we were able to still keep on learning at the site. So Tanabe is again, or Kumanokodo is the World Heritage, and when you usually hear the word, this city is designated as a World Heritage, you might want to go there. However, from the local perspective, how to call on more travelers in tourism, it's probably the focus for how to communicate and disseminate the history from the past. I was very much intrigued by the proposal of Tanabe. So that's what they were mentioning is about another role of the airliners, the route of the airplanes, aircrafts. Is impacting the tourism, and the more affluent people could also be impacted by the air route as well. Within Thai, of course, we have airliners in domestic side and the international side. For instance, Air Asia, that airliner is connecting local to local. And by having local communities connected, then the product produced within the local area will be expanded to other markets. And food culture could be leveraged in order to expand to other areas. So we will be keeping up our research as well. Thank you. So now we're running out of time. Therefore, maybe we would like to invite a question. We have a question from the site and the online.
สวัสดีครับนัต
Thank you. I am Natapon from TSA. Thank you very much for learning experience of field study and DMO related matters. One example is that the tourism industry. In order for tourism industry to develop, actually, when the tourism industry develops, economy rises and environment too. So it can be one of the tools or weapon, if you will. You can use vis-a-vis regions in order to overcome aging of society issue. So DMO in Thailand, well, there is a topic regarding governance in tourism industry. And the private sector companies can join together vis-a-vis culture and nature. In Thailand, when we say DMO, governance is one of the topic. How private sector companies, industries can work together. And that is one of the issues that we are tackling in the frame of DMO. And secondly, DMO is promoting tourism. Bottleneck. There is a direct link, economic revitalization. So upskilling or enhancing skill level, partnership within the community, business skills need to be enhanced within the community as well. Of the importance, I would say. And the last item I would like to bring to the table is that the DMO can work closely with the community, which is quite important. In Tanabe, they have Brad, a person called Brad from Western Hemisphere as a staff to the bureau. And he came to Japan as a researcher, and he's working as a researcher. According to the information I got, it's in community require key industry, which is tourism industry, and that's how I felt this way. So thank you very much for the learning experience to bring to Thailand for the future growth. And there is a question gathered from online participants. Let me introduce this question. This is a question from the Japanese side. This is a question to Dasta. Agricultural farmers may use agriculture as a primary source of income, and then tourism can be a secondary source of income for the farmer. But how many cases are there in Thailand of this income? What sort of agricultural produce are making? Tourism revenue he or she is having. If you have any detailed information about agriculture and tourism, that would be highly appreciated. One example could be the local residents near Bangkok city, maybe a place called Chonburi. In Chonburi, they grow coconuts. Many people are having coconuts farms, and that's their primary source of income and primary source of work. And they can sustain themselves from the income of coconut farming. They have their houses, and I actually visited myself. The worker in the coconuts farm gave us a lot of information, and coconut curry is very tasty as a culinary culture in Thailand. One thing I noticed is that coconuts farmers are quite attractive because they are having a traditional food culture. But the coconuts farming was not leveraged for tourism industry in the past. So how they can circulate profit or reinvest their profit is something that became as an issue. So mothers of each household, they introduced their own family cultures. And that kind of experience may be used for tourism development of the district. And that was a conversation we had. And when we propose, why don't you receive tourists? And we get a very positive response from the farmers. So the original residents of the community started learning about their own community history as a starting point, and that is also used for their tourist reception activities. And also coconut coffee, which is another tasty tradition you may have experienced. So there was another food culture that can be introduced to tourism, and coconut oil. So this get popularity as a result. So this can also offer one of the business opportunities through the discussion with the farmers. Tourists gather and coconuts are food ingredients. So by having more tourists coming in, they need to produce more coconuts. And then this can be a additional impact for coconut industry for that to develop. So coconuts can sold more and the production volume can be increased. So there will be more demand. So supply has to be increased. So that was one of the dust experience. In Thailand, Of course, the most important thing is community is prepared to receive tourists, and who are the target tourists need to be identified. Well, the beauty will be the target, the topic for targeting tourists, or food is a source of targeting tourists, or domestic tourists, or overseas tourists. We have to decide on the target. But by gathering opinions of various people, we can develop products more. Of course, this is not something we put mandatory on the part of the coconut farmers, but the coconut farmers are taking their own initiative to get involved. Because of their own initiative at the very basis, they can carry on, and also but as a result of additional impact of the tourism, coconut industry, which is the basis of the industry, can also develop as well. And also by sharing or receiving other people's experience, some new tangible ways of activities can be produced. And farmers are farmers to begin with, so tourism revenue is additional source of revenue, so they can have additional impact. So that was an example. Thank you very much. We are getting closer to the time to close, but I would like to give a microphone to MC. Ladies and gentlemen, for your participation, Mr. Tada, Mr. Sasaki, Mr. Nakasugi, you can now mute your mic, the camera. Who are participating in this venue and also online, if your answers are not answered, your questions were not answered, please contact us. It's here shown on the slide. Now, the Natalia as permanent secretary, and also Mr. Okuda from JTTRI-AIRO. So, permanent secretary Natalia, please.
So today the discussion was so rich, and Mr. Shukuri from the JTTRI and Mr. Okuda are the co-chair of the Japanese side, and JTTRI-AIRO, the working group delegates, and all the members who have come together to participate. So thank you very much. We were able to have a valuable discussion today. We had a valuable exchange of opinions and knowledges, and we heard of many valuable experiences. So today, the working groups were able to have a deep insight from Tanabe. Tanabe has decisions made from a rigid structure of the organization and will be making the decisions. So that has been evidently shown to us, and the organization will be managing the destinations who are in charge of the tourism development, supporting the organizations and sustainability and the profit to the communities. We understood that it is a very important system in order to promote the tourism in a systematic way. So this meeting shall be another new step and a new stride in order to cooperate in an academic front as well. And I sincerely wish that it will be bearing fruit specifically for the tourism policies and the management. Once again, JTTRI and AIRO people, the working group delegation of the Japanese side. Thank you so much for opening this meeting, and I very much thank you for your warm welcome. The tourism policy and the management specific result shall be coming out as an output, and I sincerely believe that. So once again, I am so grateful of everybody's work and participants who are here at the site and who are also being an audience through online. Thank you so much for taking time for your participation. With that, we would like to close the 6th Thai Japan Tourism Working Group. This is a meeting between the MOTS, JTTRI-AIRO. So I would like to declare this meeting closed, and I am looking forward for the next opportunity to hold a meeting such as this. Thank you so much indeed. So much, Ms. Natalia. Terry. And now Mr. Okuda from JTTRI, please. President for International Affairs, President JTTRI and JTTRI-AIRO. So thank you very much for your introduction. And I am working for the executive director of JTTRI and president of AIRO. So I am the co-chair from the first working group. Before closing, I would like to make a comment. So in 2023, December, we had our very first working group. And today counts the 6th meeting. And now we have been requesting Ms. Natalia Tawivong, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Tourism and Sports, MOTS, and other delegates to come over to Japan. Thank you so much for your attendance and participation this time. And this time, the working group, starting with Ms. Natalia, Permanent Secretary, along with the delegate, we have been going with the field survey at Kumano area. And at that time, Kumano Tourism Bureau, who has been so supportive and welcome of our team. And this gratitude comes from both Thailand and Japan. This time at the site, we have been going through the survey at Wakayama, and we were able to observe how you practice the DMO at on-site and what coordination, adjustment, or accommodation you are making. So we were able to acknowledge that, which is a great success for our working group this time. So today's working group, according to the results that we have been having, we are coming back to our fundamental topic of the tourism, sustainable tourism, to think about the mission and the role of DMO. And before even the agenda was set, our Mr. President Wada has been making a comment of how we should consider the DMO and how to create a success case as well. And by discussions, understand our questions and understand where we should be focusing on. The working group, based on our discussion today, we were able to listen to invaluable opinion and valuable presentations and come to the idea, clarified ideal status that we are going to be aiming for instance, including the local nature or culture study, or else having leveraging on the resources within the local front. So we were able to understand us much more deeper. So once again, I would like to send a great gratitude for all the people that has been providing us some activities or providing us some benefits or providing us any information. For the stakeholders, we are going to be making feedback going forward. And for the working group, for both Japan and Thailand, we will be realizing the tourism for a sustainable way. With that understanding, we will be discussing going forward, and we will be sharing our success cases. We will be bringing back each nation's what the good practice will be, and for other countries, This is a area to provide a key point in order to solve the challenges faced by nations. With this, for the next working group, we would like to connect today's result to the next meeting. And we would like to keep on coordinating with you and to keep the continuation of this working group going forward. So once again, thank you so much for everybody's cooperation.